Yes, man. Hit that like button if you haven't already, man. Tap on in. Back with some more content. Man. Here we go. I want my black people to tap in with us. Don't play no games. You're in the right place to be. King Supreme. Salute to the gang. Salute to everybody. What is up? What's happening? What is up? What is happening? Shout out to the family, man. We've been doing this for a while. Yes, sir. We've been doing it. TONEA Miller, man. I could have did this. I was so caught up in other things that I was doing. I never got a chance to do this one, man. Hit the audio. I mean, hit the like button if you haven't already. I almost said hit the audio, but no, man, hit that like button if you haven't already. Salute to Scoop. Yes. I told y'all, man, I had to make some adjustments, man, with some of these mods, man. We had people there were mods on the channel that was dead weight, so I had to remove them, right? Just had to remove them. Ain't nothing personal. Like if you listen, if you haven't been over here moderating, I ain't seen you for weeks or a month or two, then hey, man, it is what it is. No hard feelings. I'm pretty sure you got channels that you rock with. There's channels that you guys rock with. Just continue to rock with them. But if you haven't been over here moderating my channel, and I don't feel no type of way, but like I said, I'm gonna give wrenches to people who show up consistently. So I had to remove some dead weight, man, in my moderator community. That it just is what it is, man. Hit the like button, man. It ain't nothing. Salute. Now I'm gonna hold on one second. I want to get some feedback real quick before I dive into this conversation. I want to hear. Let me see how the audio sound. Hold on. All right, everything sounding good, man. So yeah, man, we're gonna get into this story. It is what it is. You know. Salute. See, it'd be one thing if people wasn't on YouTube, then that'd be one thing. But if you on other channels, and that's cool. Rock with whoever you want to rock with. But it's not like you took a break from YouTube and you ain't really been on YouTube. You've been on other channels and you ain't been moderating over here, and I ain't seen you in like 2 months. Then there's no reason for people like that to have wrenches on my platform. So anyway, man, let's move on with the content. Hit the like button if you haven't already, family. Let's get to the bottom of this situation right here. Hold up. Let me do this real quick. You already know, fam. You already know.
In recent days,
And the thing about this case right here, you're not see a lot of stuff from media, man. Everything that I see about this case is like independent media outlets, like more like black media to be particular. But it's like black media to be black media. We're the ones covering this. Outside of black media, this story would get no coverage. Like it would get no coverage if it wasn't for black media. Like I promise you.
the story surrounding the passing of a woman named TONEA Nicole Miller has been circulating online. TONEA was born on September 30th, 1998 and was 27 years old when she passed away just a few weeks ago in June of 2026. She loved life. She was very spirited. She spoke life into people. She loved walking, and she was doing different work at the time. She had some experience as a home health aide, and she also worked at a fast food restaurant. She was originally from from Michigan, but had been staying in Florida for quite a while. From what I was able to find from her social media, it was at least since 2025 she had been living in Florida. And I really wanted to try and get to know TONEA a little bit more, because the way that she passed is everywhere, but there's very little about who she is, who she was as a person available online. I was lucky enough to come across her social media page. I stumbled across it by accident, actually, because it's not under her real name, but a friend of hers had posted a video, and it just so happened that TONEA's TikTok was linked in the comments of that video. And when I clicked on her page, I realized that she used TikTok as a way to document her life and to document her thoughts, sort of in the format of a video.
And the thing is, we gotta know, like, you gotta know what type of lifestyle they was living, what type of people they hung out with. All of these things are important if you're trying to solve a case. So we need to know the person's background. Like I said, you only see black media covering this story. Some people might say, "Oh man, we don't care, man." Listen, man, I don't make gender war content. I make reality content where I talk about things that actually matter. Hit the like button.
Diary.
A lot of us, we stagnate our own motion and we self-sabotage. And that's really the real reason why most of our lives fall apart, or things don't go good for us, or we lose certain people because they outgrow us, because ourselves. We refuse to accept certain things or to change certain things. So one thing that I'm working on is to just stop trying to blame everybody on why something might not work out for me. And I want to look within, internally, to see where I went wrong, because I am in control of my own life. I control this narrative, nobody else. So if anything was to go bad in my life, it's because I was lacking something. I was lacking some type of awareness. I was failing to change something or to acknowledge something. And that's why it's so important to just spend a lot of time with self, because if you don't, you'll just let your life just be on autoplay, and whatever happens just happens, instead of you taking control of your life and making those subtle changes that will make your life better or change the outcome of a situation. You know, not everybody wants you to fail. Not everybody wants you to do bad. It is the closest people who don't want you to do better than them, but they still want to see you do good most of the time. And honestly, most of the criticism comes from yourself, if we're going to be real with one another. Most of our doubts and our, judgment comes from ourselves and our own fears. So, yeah, I just feel like a lot of us need to just start looking internally instead of blaming our issues externally onto others, because we're all going through the same thing and we all have to make it to the next day.
And it seemed like she used her social media as a way to not only motivate herself, but to motivate and inspire others too. And she showed the journey of her life that she had been on for quite some time, the highs and the lows. And she posted so candidly and so frequently too that it felt like, again, a video journal of sorts. She welcomed anyone who would come across her videos to her page. She posted in a way that made it feel like you were on a FaceTime call with her, where she would just discuss her day, talk about her ups and downs, her hopes and dreams, and just be very open about everything.
Don't be really worried about what these people be having to say. Don't be really worried about what these people got going on. Don't be really worried about what these people have set up for you, what these people gossiping about you about. Don't worry about that. Worry about what you got going on and continue to do better every single day. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's all I've been doing, and everything has been chill for me. Even like these little stumbling blocks people have been trying to put in my life. Everything is.
And then you guys got to understand, man, there's a lot of women and black people getting hung in the South. See, you got people who come to my channel and we talk about LA, but I can show you the retaliations from a lot of these things that happens to blacks in California. And that's not to put anybody down. What I'm saying is a lot of black people been getting hung in the South. I got stories about North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia. And a lot of these stories get swept underneath the rug. This is why I get so pissed off with our people. It's like we talking about tethers every day and Haitians. And most people don't even live around Haitians. Now, if you live in certain areas in Florida, I can understand why you might talk about it. That's like I live, you know, like if you live in Cali, then I can understand why you talk about open borders and illegal immigration, because it affects you personally. It affects your community. So it makes sense. You got a lot of black people who are missing. You got a lot of black children and black women who are missing. And it's like we want to come online to talk about tethers every day because YouTube promotes that in the algorithm. It's keeping black people at each other's throats, but we're not paying attention to all the women that are being, all the women that's coming up missing, all the black children that's coming up missing. Instead of focusing on things that we can fix in our community, we want to hop online and talk about tethers every day. And that's cool. I don't mind you speaking on the issues with tethers, but when you're talking about tethers every day, while ignoring the death, destruction, the unalivings, the women and children that are coming up missing, you're pandering to an audience, and it's obvious. That's exactly what you're doing. Listen, homie, there's several stories of women and children who didn't came up missing within the last 6 to 7 months. I'm not even talking about over the last 5 years. I'm talking about over the last 6 months. So with that being a fact, why do I need to talk about tethers every single day when we have bigger fish to fry? The white man is dealing with the tethers. The white man is deporting the tethers. We need to set up a program to where black people in these communities look after one another, protect the women, protect the children that's coming home from school, patrol the community, be on the lookout for strange behavior, perverts, sexual deviants, things of that nature. The white man is dealing with the tethers. All you got to do is stop voting blue. Simple solution. But there's several women and children who then came up missing in the black community within the last 6 months. That could be your mother. That could be your daughter. That could be your son. That could be one of your family members. We got to start looking at it just like that. A lot of you dudes, man, you dudes are pander bears. You know, black people want to hear listen, you know, black people want to hear nonsense about tethers all day. So what you do is you feed that garbage to your audience because it's getting clicks and views, but it's really nonsense. Like I said, the white man is already dealing with the tethers. So why do we need to waste time talking about that every day when we got bigger fish to fry? You got children getting shot and unalive in your community, children coming up missing and don't nobody know where they at. Can't nobody find them. Instead of focusing on things that's going on in our communities, we want to talk about tethers, and the white man is dealing with that already. If you really gave a damn about the community, how come you're not talking about things that actually matters?
Something that's important for you to know about TONEA is that she had a gift that many people look for in others, and that is the gift of unwavering positivity. And when I saw it with my own 2 eyes, I understood what her sister meant when she said that TONEA was too much of everything in the best way.
I'm tired. Last night, I got no sleep. The night before that, I got no sleep. This morning, I slept on the train for a couple hours. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I'm just walking from the train station. Hair nappy. I'm okay with that. Born with it. Love it. Today, I almost quit my job. I have to be at work in 3 hours. How do you almost quit your job? You're not even there yet. I don't know. Trying to get as close to my job as possible, so that does not become possible. I feel as if the closer that I am to my job, the more that I will be willing to go in. True or false? I don't know yet. Listen.
I'm gonna start a channel, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a segment, right? At least twice a week. And I don't want people stealing my ideas. So I think I'm gonna keep a lot of that stuff to myself, because people are thieves. They won't support your platform, but they will steal things that you do. That's how sorry a lot of our people are. We'll steal ideas, but we won't pay homage to the person that we got it from. And that's exactly what a lot of people are doing. Like I said, there's too many people pandering with this FBA content. Now, FBA is a beautiful thing. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. But you got a lot of guys who are just pandering. Oh, let me talk about Haitians and tethers all day, because I can get some clicks and views for doing it. But at the end of the day, you got children getting shot. You got children getting shot and unalive in Black communities. You ain't spreading awareness about that. Black women and children are coming up missing. Ain't nobody talking about it. It goes on deaf ears. Most of our people want to hear about tethers and white supremacy, and it's cool. Talk about that, right? Talk about white supremacy. Talk about tethers. But at what point do we fix the problems in our community? You got children coming up missing in Black communities every single day. But we want to hop online and talk about tethers all day instead of the missing children in our community, instead of the missing children all across the country. And listen, and these are FBA children. I'm not talking about, listen, children are children. You know, I think we should protect all children, but we got to fix ourselves in our community first. I don't mind aiding and assisting somebody who's non-Black, but I gotta put the focus on my community, because most people don't care about our community. And unfortunately, a lot of our people really don't care. They hop online to pander to our people about Haitians every single day. I mean, how many videos about Haitians you gonna make? You're not talking about the elderly woman who got unalive. You ain't talking about the children that got shot in the crossfire. You ain't talking about the children who came up missing. I'm talking about thousands. You want to pander to FBA people online about Haitians and tethers every single day because you can make some coins in the algorithm. Because unfortunately, that's the nonsense that our people want to hear. That's the nonsense they want to listen to every day. We need to focus on things that we can actually change. Like I said, the white man is dealing with the tethers. They're out of here. Tethers ain't causing the problems in your life. That's an easy fix. We got people in the community that's off code, gangbangers, female feminists. These are problems that we could actually fix. Instead of talking about the things that we can actually fix, you want to pander to our people every day about tethers and Africans, when, like I said, that is an issue, but it's not, the issue is not that big to the point to where it affects our day-to-day lives. It does not. Our children coming up missing. People invading our community, harming them, women and children. That should be the main focus right now. The tethers are already getting dealt with. So if you want to be a real community activist, why don't you talk about some stuff that actually matters instead of pandering to this FBA audience who want to hear stuff about Haitians and tethers all day while ignoring the problems that they can fix in their own community? It's sad, homie.
I'm hoping to pay off, because tonight I don't know where I'm going to sleep. I got $80 in my account. Phone bill is paid. Thank you. Storage is paid. Everything is good for right now. In my perspective. In your perspective, probably not.
And guess what? This woman was suffering. She was going through some things. Probably didn't have nobody helping her. Nobody gave a damn about her. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like she was going through some things and she felt like nobody cared. So who knows who she was dealing with? Who knows what actually happened to this young lady? She was crying out loud. This young lady was crying out for help, and it don't seem like she got it. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Listen, homie, we got problems that we can fix in our own community. Get your dusty ass offline pandering to our people about tethers. I mean, it's cool to talk about it, but you're going to talk about tethers every day. I get it. It works for the algorithm. Unfortunately, our people want to hear that nonsense every day. You don't want to talk about the black children that's getting gunned down in the community. You don't want to talk about the women and children that's coming up missing. You want to pander to our people every day about Haitian tethers. And none of that bullshit affects your life personally. That's crazy.
Completely understand that. Listen, God is good. God is great all of the time. Don't get me wrong. It is hard to forget how good God can be for all of us, because there's so many other things that we have to focus on. I guess that's the reason why he makes sorrows and downfalls, things that are not as joyful as winning, so that you can understand the real gift of having joy and having a steady, stable life. Friends, family, finances, great. This would be like my 10th time starting over if I hit the reset button right now. Don't got time to do it right now. I'm too invested in what this job is going to get for me other than 12 hours a week. Thank God for my tips.
This young lady was going through something, right? And she was crying out loud. Well, they don't want to talk about the 73% single mother rate, because what they're going to say is, well, that's gender war content. No, that's reality content right there. That affects our community in a major way. See, promiscuity, gun violence, these are things that we can actually change ourselves. We don't have to go through a system to change that. If black men learn to love one another instead of unaliving each other, we could fix that ourselves. We don't need to go through the white man. We don't need to go through a system to fix that. Black women can easily stop being promiscuous. That's something they can fix themselves. They don't have to go through a system to make change when it comes to that. We need to focus more on things that we can actually change in our day-to-day lives, things that we can change in our own communities, things that we can change in our own families. Pandering to FBA people about tethers every day ain't gonna change a damn thing in the community. It ain't gonna stop these Negroes from gunning each other down. It ain't gonna stop these women from being promiscuous. It ain't gonna stop these women from being feminists. Pandering to our people about tethers ain't gonna change nothing. These are the same people who voted for Kamala Harris. The same people that's bigging you up for making those videos about tethers every day are the same people who voted for Kamala Harris, and she's the epitome of what a tether is. She cosplays as a black woman. At some point, we got to get it together and quit being foolish, people. Seriously, we need to focus on the things that we can actually change. The white man is dealing with the tethers. The tethers are going back home. They're getting sent back to their homeland. So why do we need to waste time talking about that every day? That situation got nipped in the bud already. Why don't you save some of these black children that are being gunned down? So all you conscious brothers, why don't you preach to these black women about promiscuity and having babies by men who ain't their husbands? Why don't you focus on things that black folks can change? The problem is people want to pander to FBA people for easy money. Oh, they want to hear stuff about tethers every day. I'll just talk about Haitians and tethers every day. That is garbage. That is nonsense. I could easily get more views if I wanted to right now. If I just pander to our people about bullshit that don't matter, like talking about tethers every day. I could easily I'm gonna complain about tethers all day because FBA want to hear that. I could easily do that to get more views in the algorithm, but I choose not to do that. Why? Because that's garbage content. It really is. Focus on the things you can change. Exercise more. Drink less. Quit smoking cigarettes. Slow down on your alcohol consumption. Stop being promiscuous. Learn to love your FBA brothers and sisters. Why don't we focus on things that we could actually change? That tether situation got nipped in the bud already. So why do we need all these FBA channels talking about tethers every day? It's stupid at this point. That situation got nipped in the bud. Oh, you don't want to talk about things that we can actually change because that requires holding people accountable. And I know what you don't want to do. You don't want to hold the women accountable. You don't give a damn about talking about the men. You will do that. There ain't no problem. You're too afraid to hold the women accountable. That's why you don't want to focus on things that we can actually change. You're too afraid that you might offend some of those women. So you don't want to talk about personal accountability. I get it. I understand your angle, homie. Trust and believe. I understand the psychology. Put the cigarettes down. Slow down on your alcohol consumption. Quit being promiscuous. Quit going to the damn club. Keep your monkey ass off social media all day. Find something else to do with your time besides scrolling social media all damn day. Learn how to be productive. Let's focus on the things that we can actually change in our day-to-day lives. Then we'll have better families. Then we'll have a better damn community.
Look, everything is genuine when it comes to a person who don't have. Well, it should be. I'm really happy right now, but I am gracious. I'm grateful, and I'm asking God for more grace.
She had a dream of building a beautiful life for herself, and she talked about making an effort to really avoid slipping back into the old habits that she had of living a fast life.
I never really had a role model show me what building is. Instead of just working, building. And you know what I'm saying? Actually putting your work, your money towards something other than survival. You know what I'm saying? I threw myself out here willingly and just was like, hey, I'm about to just, figure it out. And that was a few years ago. And it's been all right. It could be 100% better. It could be, but it is what it is in all aspects.
She documented her journey very heavily up until about April of 2026. She did talk about the men that she dealt with and kind of feeling threatened by some of them, which sticks out in my thoughts knowing what ultimately happened to her. On June 18th, 2026 at 6:20 a.m., someone called into the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office to report that a woman was hanging from a tree in Miami-Dade County across from Gwen Cherry Park. Near the park is a wooded area that's by railroad tracks where she was spotted by the people who were actually passing by on the train, and officers responded to the call and found TONEA, who was no longer alive. She was hanging from an article of clothing, fully dressed, wearing her jewelry, and all her belongings were placed nearby, including her debit card. Her hands and her feet were free, and according to police, the tree was very easily climbable and actually had marks on it, scuff marks that kind of indicated that it could have been climbed. But I found a report by Tanya Francois from CBS News, and she actually went to the scene and saw yellow tape in this area here. So I can show you the area where TONEA was found. So as you can see, this is Gwen Cherry Park.
We're too busy arguing with tethers or about tethers every day. We're not even paying attention to the women and children that's coming up missing in our communities across the country. We're not even paying attention to that. Most of us don't even make content about that. What you have is what you have in our community is a bunch of Tariq Nasheed wannabes who want to talk about tethers every day in hopes to make a living doing that. They have no ideas. They're not original. No originality, no personality. Well, Tariq Nasheed became successful. He's talking about tethers. I'll talk about tethers every day too. Ain't got no original thoughts, none. If I told you guys how many black women and children that came up missing within the last 7 months, it'll blow your damn mind. And then you would say, well, hold on. Black people need to focus on protecting the children. We need to have a group of people that protect the children when they walk to school, when they walk home from school. When children play at the parks, we need to have an organization of people who watch over the elderly people and the children. That's what we need to be doing. We need to focus on their education. Focus on giving these children a healthy upbringing. Black men, y'all got to stop unaliving each other. Black women, y'all got to stop being feminists and having children by men who don't want to marry you, but then you want to complain about the outcome later. Listen, when you focus on things that can better your community, that's gonna what's gonna happen is it's gonna force you to hold people accountable. And a lot of our conscious brothers really don't want to hold the women accountable. But if we're gonna fix our community, everybody needs accountability, the men and women. It is impossible to fix the community without personal accountability. If you can't get people to look in the mirror to see that they're causing their own problems, self-inflicted wounds. Talking about tethers ain't gonna stop black children and women from coming up missing every day. Talking about tethers every day ain't gonna stop black men from gunning each other down. It ain't gonna stop black women from being feminists. It ain't gonna stop them from being promiscuous, which leads to single motherhood in the first damn place. It's all about prevention. Self-awareness and prevention is what the black community needs. I don't want to hear this nonsense about no damn tethers every single damn day. It's cool to talk about it, to spread awareness, but do we really need to hear bullshit about tethers every single day? Tethers ain't your biggest problem. The people who look like you are the biggest problem. I promise you, homie, your biggest problem don't come from tethers. So why do you talk about it every day? Oh, I get it. You're pandering to make YouTube money. It works for the algorithm. But it's counterproductive in reality when you ignore the nonsense, when you ignore things that we can actually change. Ignoring things that we can actually change in our day-to-day lives. Instead of doing that, you pander to our people about Haitian tethers every single day. Red, are you protecting? Right, Red, why do you give a damn about the tethers? I don't give a damn about the tethers. What I'm saying is nonsense, is BS to focus on tethers while ignoring the problems that we got in our own community that we could actually fix. That's what I'm saying.
There's a football field, something that looks like a little lake sort of thing. And then this is where the yellow tape was found. Now, you can see up here that this street view is from 2021. In the video that the reporter posted, this is all grown up. So there's, you know, vegetation all in here. It's not as clean cut anymore. So we see a couple trees. There's no way to know exactly where, but there was yellow tape kind of going across this way. So I don't know if she was found over in this direction or this way, but the people that apparently saw her were passing by on a train, and Tanya Francois, the reporter, indicated that it was this set of train tracks here, which if I zoom in, you can really see that these are train tracks. And from the aerial view, you can see this is where those train tracks run. So if she was about here, people claim they saw her from here. So it actually makes me wonder if she were further down this way, just because that is a pretty, I mean, it's not that far, but I had to click a few times on the map.
You got women in these communities, and I got to give you the reality. See, this young lady had some problems, right? And she was crying out for help, but she didn't get it. She didn't get the help that she was crying out for, right? And it's an unfortunate situation. Hit the like button if you haven't already. If black people truly gave a damn about their community, they would focus more on the things that we can actually change instead of talking about foreign tethers every single damn day. Bullshit that really don't affect your life personally. You got black women and children coming up missing on a daily all across the country. And you want to and we want to pander to our people about Haitian tethers and Africans every day. Like, come on, man. We got to do better than this, bro. You got perverts in your community right now, lurking around elementary schools, lurking around high schools, lurking around middle schools, lurking around the local parks where children play at. Instead of you addressing that, you want to talk about tethers every day. Man, it makes me sick to my stomach looking at all this nonsense that people talk about on YouTube.
But yeah, I had to click a few times on the map to get us from here to here. So that makes me wonder if she were
God.
further down in this area. Again, we don't know for certain, but unfortunately, this is where she was found. Police have said that they collected evidence from the scene and looked for evidence that someone else had been with her, that there was some sort of third party, but they didn't find any. And the medical examiner found no defensive wounds on her body whatsoever. And the case was determined, therefore, to be self-inflicted. However, the toxicology report takes 2 to 6 months to finish. So we don't have those results back yet. So we don't know if anything was in her system.
And we gotta give a shout out to this sister right here because I got to give her a shout out. Her name is Sunny Shay. Sunny Shay did a good job with this TONEA Miller situation because mainstream media ain't talking about it at all. Why? Because they don't want to shed light on what's really going on when it comes to black people getting lynched and hung, black women and children coming up missing. It's not white society's job to shed light on that. It is our job to shed light on that. If we don't give a damn about us, why should white people? I'm going to say it again like the preacher man. If we don't give a damn about our people, why should white folks? That's something for y'all to think about. Let that marinate 10 times on your mother effing mind.
At the time, but even without, didn't find any, and the medical examiner found no defensive wounds on her body whatsoever, and the case was determined, therefore, to be self-inflicted. However, the toxicology report takes 2 to 6 months to finish, so we don't have those results back yet, so we don't know if anything was in her system at the time. But even without the toxicology, the medical...
Shout out to Desmond Hill for the 20. Shout out to Brandon for the 20 as well. So we got 2 people who supported so far. I appreciate the people who are supporting the channel. Shout out to Sunny Shay for spreading awareness in this. Black women, I don't give a damn what y'all think. I love y'all. I'm going to criticize you when you deserve criticism, but at the end of the day, I'm doing it out of love. I give a damn about what's happening to the people in our community. Some of us got mothers, daughters, nieces, nephews, cousins, aunties, grandmothers. So my thing is this. We need to focus more on the things that we could actually change in our day-to-day lives. Listen, homie, we got too many people in the FBA community who are chasing the YouTube algorithm. So they'll make content that's trending. Oh, talking about tethers are getting me tracked. Talking about tethers and Haitian to get me traction. So instead of talking about shit that's actually important, they'll pander to the FBA audience about tethers and goofy shit like that all day, instead of focusing on the things that we can actually change. Like I said, when it comes to the Africans and the Haitians and the tethers, the white man didn't already nip that in the bud. That's a done deal. They already took the hammer and knocked that damn nail in the coffin with the hammer. It's a done dealie. It's a done situation. So why do we need to hammer away about Africans and Haitians and tethers all day when we have bigger fish to fry? We got tons of problems in our community that needs to be fixed. We need to spread more awareness on the things that we can actually change. We have the power to change all of these things. We got enough goons and hitters to protect the children who play at the park. We got enough goons and hitters to protect the children when they walk to school and when they come home from school. We need to strategize, organize, and come up with a plan. It's all about prevention. I'm tired of damage control. What about prevention? We could easily stop these situations from happening. Instead of you using your platform to talk about tethers, talk about something that actually matters. Tons of black women and children have came up missing in this country within the last 6 to 7 months. At some point, black folks got to look in the mirror. I'm speaking to FBA right now. At some point as FBA, we all got to take a look in the mirror. We all got problems that we need to fix. So why do we need to focus on Haitian tethers when we need to be focused on we need to focus on what needs to be fixed in our communities? Protecting the women, protecting the children, protecting the young black brothers, protecting FBA people in general, the elderly, the children, the women, the men. The whole damn community. If we really give a damn about our folks, if we really give a damn about our people, King Supreme ain't gonna pander to y'all. Sometimes I say things that you might disagree. You may disagree with some of the things that I say, but at the end of the day, I got your best interest in mind. I'm not going to pander to you and talk about Haitians and tethers because it gets views in the algorithm. That is BS content. That is BS garbage content. That's the same mentality like selling crack to your people because you know it's going to make money. You know crack will sell even though it's counterproductive, but you sell it for the money. Well, talking about Haitians and tethers at some point is counterproductive because you're not even paying attention to the things that we can actually change. But I get it. It makes you money. YouTube promotes that in the algorithm. So instead of you talking about something that's really important, instead of you talking about something that really affects our communities and our families, you pander to our people about Haitian tethers and Africans all day instead of focusing on the things that we can actually change. Like I said, the white man didn't already nip that situation in the bud with the Haitians. That's not a problem. We ain't got to worry about no Haitians. I promise you, your biggest problem don't come from Haitians. Your biggest problems don't come from tethers. A lot of your problems comes from people who look just like you. And some of your problems come from white supremacy because it's systemic. It's systematic. I understand that. But at the same time, we need to focus on the things that we can actually change. Promiscuity is something that you can change. Nobody's forcing you to sleep around. Black men gunning down your brothers, that's something that you can change. Ain't nobody forcing you to do that. Robbing somebody who look like you, oh man, you ain't got to do that. That's something you can change. It starts with self-love. Everything that I'm talking about starts with self-love. The black woman, stop being promiscuous. And then you want to complain about the fact that you was a struggling single mother, but you got pregnant because you was promiscuous. You wasn't married. You didn't have a stable relationship when you got pregnant. The majority of you didn't. Look yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Hold yourself accountable so that you can do better. Black woman, hold yourself accountable so that you can do better. I don't want you to be bitter. I want you to be better. I'm going to say it again like the preacher man. I don't want you to be bitter. I want you to be better. There's a big difference. Learn how to be better instead of being bitter. Salute to the black women that's going to take heed to the information.
Examiner felt they were able to determine that there was no foul play involved. The NAACP from Miami-Dade County did an interview, a press conference, where they addressed the public's question.
If you're talking about stuff that don't matter, then shame on you, especially if you got people that's listening to you and you're not, and you claim to be a foundational Black American, but you don't focus on the things that we can actually change. That's garbage right there. You're feeding the people fast food, but you're not giving them anything of substance. That's exactly what I'm saying. This young lady right here was going through a lot. Nobody was listening to her. Nobody reached out to help her. And it's a damn shame. Listen, homie, we got a lot of brothers and sisters right now that's going through a whole lot of things and they don't feel like they have anybody they can talk to. And when they self-destruct, then we want to criticize them for the decisions they made. But we never took the time to see what they was going through, what was bothering them, what issues was they dealing with at home, what issues was they dealing with in the world, period. Hit the like button, man. I'm so serious with this content, man. And I don't give a damn who gets mad. I'm telling the damn truth.
And they were alongside a major from the sheriff's department. And the major said that the scene was very carefully processed and that they had conducted interviews, they followed every lead they had, and that they had found no evidence of foul play, but that they would reopen the case if someone were to come forward with any credible tip or new information that they could follow up on. Something that has made people incredibly suspicious is the speed with which they closed TONEA's case. The investigation was very short-lived and it was closed very, very quickly. And that makes people wonder why, or if it was a thorough investigation. And in the press conference held by the NAACP, TONEA's sister asked that anyone with information please come forward, she's definitely questioning the conclusion that the police have come to.
There's no, I haven't been able to retrieve a police report that I've tried to get multiple times via voicemail, via email. I've called multiple times consistently. I only get that I should leave. I only get that, first of all, the police report won't be ready in 4 weeks. So it's like I said, it's that's y'all know 100%. Oh, and then I also talked to James Dale, the medical examiner. He said there's no 100% autopsy report yet either, because the toxicology report was done, and that won't be back before 2 to 6 months. And I have to put in a special request with the medical records department to even receive it, for it to come straight to Terry. Oh, and those so-called, like I said, we had family. We had a lot of family. Vanessa Love, Michelle Love. They even came down here to see TONEA. As a sister, all I really wanted was, damn, is that really my sister? Because I know my sister wouldn't do no like that. Y'all know anything, please call me. Hit me up, millerterry37@gmail.com.
I discovered that Tony's older sister, Terry, created a GoFundMe to raise money for a private investigator as well as a private autopsy. So if you are interested in contributing to that, I will have it linked in the description. In a case like this, there's a lot of understandable concern and a lot of people who are really wanting answers about what happened to TONEA. And despite everyone's best intentions, there has been some information that's been going around online that hasn't been 100% true. One of the things being that TONEA went to Florida for a Juneteenth celebration. But we know that that's not the case, because we know that she had been living down in Miami for quite some time. So she had a life there. She knew people there. TONEA did speak on her social media about how she found it really difficult to find and maintain friendships, but she did talk about some men that she had met. So we know that she knew people.
A lot of people are suffering from mental health issues, right? And mental health is a big thing. It's been a big thing, but for the most part, we've ignored it, right? We just, oh man, get it together. That ain't nothing. Now we realize how important your mental health is. In the past, we just swept those issues. We just swept those issues underneath the rug. Like, man, you need to get it together, man. That individual was crazy. Not realizing that they were battling some serious mental health issues. We didn't take the time to really understand that back in the past. I'll say like 20 years ago, mental health issues got swept underneath the rug. Nobody gave a damn. Now with social media, I think we've done a good job at spreading awareness when it comes to mental health issues. We pay attention to that more so now than ever, which is a good thing. But at the same time, like I said, Black people need to focus on the things that we can change, man. The biggest threat to us is not a damn tether. All you got to do is stop voting blue. All you got to do is stay on code with your people, and the tethers ain't the damn problem. That's an easy fix. That is an easy fix. Black people eating healthy. A lot of us can't eat healthy. A lot of us are overweight. A lot of us are out of shape. Too much alcohol consumption, smoking cigarettes, smoking too much weed, women being promiscuous, sleeping around, having babies with men that ain't their husbands, Black men gangbanging, having children that they don't want to take care of. All of these things that I just mentioned these are things that we could actually fix, but we got to change our behavior. We got to take a look in the mirror and change our behavior. Most of our problems, listen, we actually create, listen, let me tell you something. We create most of the problems we have. These women who are single mothers, she created her own problem. How? Because she was promiscuous. She was sleeping around. She loves having casual sex, and casual sex led to single motherhood. Now she's raising a baby with no husband. That's something that she could actually change, but it requires discipline. It requires self-awareness. It requires that the community hold these women accountable. The gangbanger who goes back and forth to prison, he could easily stop going to prison. He got to change his lifestyle. You got to stop doing some of the things that you love doing. Learn to love yourself. Then maybe you can love your brothers, but everything starts with yourself. Everything starts with self-love. You can't love nobody if you don't love yourself. You can't love nobody if you don't love the man in the mirror. You can't love nobody if you don't love that woman that you see in the mirror. So listen, everything starts with self-love. Take a look in the mirror, people. Seriously. Our biggest problems comes from ourselves and the bad decisions that we made in our personal lives, but don't nobody want to tell you about that. They'll talk to you about tethers and white supremacy, but they refuse to tell you that most of our problems come from the bad decisions that we've made in our personal lives. King Supreme ain't gonna pander to you. I'm gonna tell you the damn truth. I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. And that's the difference between me and these damn pander bears who pander to the people, who cater to the damn algorithm.
Area. But there's been even people online claiming that what happened to her wasn't true, that it wasn't even a real story. It wasn't on the news. It wasn't really talked about anywhere.
I'm saying this right now to you. I'm saying this to black men and black women. Most of the problems that you're dealing with, you created yourself due to your bad decision making. Most of these single moms that are struggling, they're in this position because of their bad decisions, because of the bad decisions they made. Same thing with the black men who ended up in prison, incarceration. You ended up in that situation because of the bad decisions you made. So at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, most of the problems that we are dealing with, they stem from the bad decisions that we made in our personal lives. But most people don't want to tell you about that. They want to pander to you about white supremacy and tethers. Yes, white supremacy is a major problem. Yes, with the tether situation got nipped in the bud. That got nipped in the bud. There's no need to talk about that every day no more. Most of the problems that our people have in their day-to-day lives are problems that we created ourselves due to our bad decisions, due to the bad decisions that we made, black men and black women. Take a look in the mirror. Hold yourself accountable. Self-reflect. Get off social media for a month. Get off social media for a few months. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, what could I do better to put myself in a better situation? Stop blaming the system and look at yourself. Most of the problems that you're dealing with in your day-to-day lives, they stem from the bad decisions that you made. You laid down and slept with them ninjas. You laid down and allowed them ninjas to get you pregnant. Now you want to run to the conscious community now that you got 2 to 3 baby daddies, and you want to hop online talking all this consciousness, but you don't want to take the time to reflect on the bad decisions that you made that put you in this terrible situation in the first damn place. Most of your problems come from the bad decisions that you made. You made a choice. Now deal with the consequences.
It took some time for people to figure out, okay, is this true, to authenticate it. I saw a man who—
the solution is simple. I don't like when people say solution. Yeah, we do need solution, but the solution is simple. A crackhead knows the solution to his problem. Stop smoking crack, but he can't stop smoking crack because he's addicted to it. The female who's promiscuous, she knows that it's a bad thing to sleep around with these different ninjas, but she's addicted to sex. And having sex is what she loves. It's an addiction at this point. Same thing with the gangbanger. He's addicted to the streets. He knows that hanging out in the streets might lead to death in prison, but he do it anyway because he's addicted to it. At this point, it's a damn addiction. Most people understand the solution to their problems. The thing is this: they don't have the discipline to fix the problem. They got enough common sense to understand what the solution is, but they don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan. Somebody who's 300 pounds knows that they need to quit eating, but guess what? They're addicted to eating, so they keep doing it. But they're smart enough to understand what the solution is. The solution is to get your fat ass away from the dinner table, lose some weight, get in shape, exercise more, and eat less. They understand all of that, but guess what? They don't have the discipline to do it. So most people understand the solution to their problems, but they don't have the discipline to actually do it. That's what it is. That's the unfortunate reality. The solution is always simple, homie. Somebody who smokes cigarettes knows that it's a bad thing to smoke cigarettes every day. They understand what the solution is. Well, what's the solution? The solution is to stop smoking cigarettes, but they have an addiction. They don't have enough discipline to quit doing it. That's the problem. But don't for 1 second think that these people don't understand what the solution is.
Down to the police. So she had a life there. She knew people there. TONEA did speak on her social media about how she found it really difficult to find and maintain friendships, but she did talk about some men that she had met, so we know that she knew people down in this area. But there's been even people online claiming that what happened to her wasn't true, that it wasn't even a real story. It wasn't on the news. It wasn't really talked about anywhere. And it took some time for people to figure out, okay, is this true, to authenticate it. I saw a man who specifically called down to the police and spoke to the media department, and they confirmed that yes, it was in fact true. It did happen. And then of course, once we saw that the NAACP did the press conference with the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Major and TONEA's sister, it was at that point we were certain it was true. But there are still people online who have videos up saying that this is all just an effort to get people riled up, that it's not necessarily something that actually happened, but it absolutely is. But a question that I
listen, when people ask for solutions, listen, you got to get small victories before you can get the victim. Before you can win the big one, you got to start with the small victories. A small victory might be you not, okay, I didn't eat 2 pork chops tonight, I ate 1. Or a victory might be, instead of smoking 10 cigarettes, I only smoked 3 today. Take small steps, take baby steps, man. But listen, you got to start somewhere. Instead of you smoking 4 blunts, you probably only smoke 1 blunt today. That's a start. And eventually you can go from smoking 4 blunts to 1 to 0. Instead of you didn't exercise at all last week, but now you exercise 2 times this week. Next week, you might exercise 3 to 4 times next week. So you got to take baby steps, but don't for 1 second think that these people don't know what the solution is. They understand what the solution is. They're too damn lazy and they lack discipline to make change, but they understand what the solution is. They don't have the willpower or the discipline to execute the game plan. That's the unfortunate reality. And King Supreme is here to drop some damn game on y'all, man. I'm telling you the damn truth. I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I am telling you what you need to hear. The solution is always staring you in the face. Most of our problems stem from the bad decisions that we made, not from white supremacy, not from no damn tether. I'm going to say it again like the preacher man. Most of our problems stem from the bad decisions that we made, not from white supremacy, not from tethers. That's the reality. Now deal with it.
Is how the case was closed so quickly if there was no toxicology. It just seems like that information could be valuable to the investigation. TONEA did talk about towards the end how hard things were getting for her. And she would say things like, I'm not going to take myself out. I'm going to get through it.
I am a human with a will to live. So I know I'm not about to just take myself out the fan. Okay, I know I'm not about to just go do something. I already have that in my head. Like, I'm good. I already went down that route. But what am I doing, dog?
And then she stopped posting in April after posting maybe not every single day, but multiple times a week for more than a year. And then a few months later, this was it. She was dealing with a lot. She had talked about how she went through 3 electric scooters in a short time period where something had happened to all of her electric scooters that she had where she would use them to get to work.
My alias is Rose. Yesterday, somebody.
Now, this is going to be one of the realest shows that you catch today, right? This is going to be one of the realest shows because I'm teaching our people to take accountability. I'm teaching our people to look in the mirror. I'm teaching our people that the solution is always staring you right in the face. The solution is always staring you right in the face. Will our people take accountability? That's yet to be seen. We don't know yet. But what I do know is our people want feel-good medicine. They don't want nobody telling them the truth. They want somebody to tell them what they want to hear, which is why they flock to channels that never hold them accountable. Which is why they flock to channels that don't hold them accountable for the bad decisions they made. They want to flock to channels that's going to tell them it's the white man's fault. It's the tethers. It's white supremacy. They want to flock to channels that say that. They don't want to support channels that's telling black people, man, most of your problems stem from your own bad decision making. That's the reality right there, but they don't want to hear that. They want to They want to flock to channels that don't hold them accountable. They want to flock to channels that only talk about white supremacy and tethers. Well, King Supreme is here to tell my people, you can do better. Look at yourself. Listen, take a deep look in the mirror and tell yourself, I can do better. I need to make a change, and the change starts today. Instead of smoking 4 blunts a day, smoke 1. Instead of eating 2 pork chops for dinner, eat 1. Instead of drinking a whole bottle of Hennessy in one day, take a shot after work. Take a shot or 2 after work and watch the game and relax. Get up and go to work the next day and be productive. Don't sit up there and drink that whole damn bottle. Start in increments. Progress can start in small increments. Drink less, eat less, smoke less. And then eventually you will develop discipline. Eventually you won't have the urge to engage in these counterproductive activities. You won't have the urge to engage in these self-destructive activities. Whether maybe you eat too much, maybe you smoke too much, maybe you drink too much. Maybe you're a nympho and you like to have sex with different men. Now you got 3 baby daddies with no husband and you're 36, 37, pushing 40. Learn to take some accountability. Learn to take some accountability. That's what I am preaching to the FBA community. Change starts with the man in the mirror. Change starts with the woman in the damn mirror. This is some of the realest content that you're going to get today. Self-reflection. Most of your problems comes from your bad decision making, not white supremacy, not no damn tethers. Most of the negative BS that you're dealing with right now in your personal life, it stems from the bad decisions that you made as a woman. It stems from the bad decisions that you made as a damn man. Hit the like button, man, and support the show. Some of the realest content you're going to get.
Over my electric scooter. That is my 3rd electric scooter that has been destroyed in the past year. Currently walking to work right now.
And I think her way of communicating what she was going through on social media it was a way to help uplift others, but also her way of trying to uplift herself.
I'm talking about this. It don't matter if you feel up on the inside. If you just fake that and keep going and just learn how to continue, like, it's inevitable that things are just going to start working for you. So I'm like this. I'm like, man, I'm about to just be in a good mood. Cause what is being in a bad mood or a good mood gonna do for me? Like, what is me sitting here with an attitude complaining gonna do for me? Like, nothing at all. It's not gonna make $1. It's not gonna get me a sit up or a push up.
See, this show right here is based on self-love and motivation. So if you don't see people blessing the like button on this one, you know, damn, King, they really hating on you for this one. They are really hating on you because this message right here is very powerful. I'm telling y'all about the black women and black children that's coming up missing. Most people want to talk about tethers while ignoring the things that we can actually change in our day-to-day lives, while ignoring the things that we can actually change in our community. And you ain't got to go through the white man to change these problems that I'm talking about. You ain't got to go to the court building. You ain't got to go through a system to fix none of these problems. Accountability and self-reflection and discipline is all it's going to take to fix these problems. This is one of the most powerful messages that you're going to get today. And if you don't see people hitting the like button, blessing the super chat and the cash app, that's a prime example that I got a lot of people hating on me for telling black people the truth. Now, how real is that? Because if you can't support this show, then what show is really worth supporting? You want to hear about tethers and white supremacy. You don't want to listen to somebody that's telling black people they need to fix the problems in their own personal lives. And it all starts with self-reflection. It all starts with accountability. It starts with self-love. It starts with a little bit of discipline. Then eventually you'll get a lot of discipline. But all you need is a little bit for a damn start. All you need is a little bit of gas. All you need is a little bit of gas to get the car going. All you need is some discipline to execute the game plan. It starts with a little bit of discipline, then eventually you will gain more discipline as you continue to practice these good habits. Start off in small increments, and then next thing you know, everything will get a whole lot better. Instead of you drinking a whole bottle of Hennessy every day, you might take a shot when you get off of work and lay down and get up and go to work. Then eventually you don't even need that shot no more. You can get through your whole day without even taking a drink. But everything start small, then eventually you will get big. Start small, then eventually it'll get big. Instead of you eating 2 pork chops for dinner, eat 1 pork chop for dinner. Everything starts with discipline. Everything starts with ourselves. You want to talk about real FBA content? Well, here it is. You want some real FBA content? Here it is right here. Motivation for mind elevation. I am giving you motivation for mind elevation to fix your problems. Self-improvement for the movement.
But make me ugly. So I decided that it is what it is.
Like I say, if you don't see people supporting this show right here with all this motivation that I'm teaching, all this motivation that I'm preaching, then you know people are just hating on King Supreme in this community. I already know they have. They've been hating, but this right here is going to show you like, damn, King was right. I ain't hear none of these guys talk about self-discipline and motivation. Motivation, medication for mind elevation. What is the medication? Game, knowledge, and information. That's all the medication you need to receive mind elevation. It's mental, it's spiritual. It don't even cost money. Now, this young lady was going through a whole lot of things, and it seemed like nobody gave a damn about what she was going through. Now that she's passed away, don't nobody care. Mainstream media outlets ain't talking about it. It's going on deaf ears. There's a lot of Black women and Black children that came up missing within the last 7 to 8 months. And those numbers are crazy.
It is what it is. Like, it's inevitable that things are just going to start working for you. So I'm like this. I'm like, man, I'm about to just be in a good mood. Because what is being in a bad mood or a good mood going to do for me? Like, what is me sitting here with an attitude complaining going to do for me? Like, nothing. Nothing at all. It's not going to make $1. It's not going to get me a sit-up or a push-up. It's not going to do nothing but make me ugly. So, I decided that it is what it is. It is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. I ain't got time to decipher. I can only redirect my mind and what works for me. You feel me? I ain't finna be out here just being defeated because that's how I feel. Like, I had to really remember that I control how I feel, nobody else.
I am definitely curious to hear your thoughts. I send my condolences out to Tonea's family, and that's all I have for you today. I'll see you in the next one.
We're all going through the same.
Now, that was powerful right there, man. Now, rest in peace to this young lady. I refuse to believe that she did this to herself. And they want to say, well, there's no evidence of foul play. That's what they're saying. There's too many cases like this. If we don't love each other, nobody else will, my people. Shout out to Royalty for the 20. Shout out to Yes Sir for the 5. Let's get some more of you people to bless the Cash App and to bless the Super Chat and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend is going to tell a friend, and we're going to continue to get it in. Justice for TONEA Miller. We really don't know what happened to her. It is a damn shame. They swept this situation underneath the rug like they do most Black cases when you have young or old Black victims, Black folks in general. Let me tell you something, people. Listen, I'm going to give you the medication for mind elevation. What's the medication? Knowledge, wisdom, and information. That is what I share with you. Right? But it's your job to embrace it. It's your job to face your own fears. It is your job to develop some damn discipline. I can walk you to the water, but it's your job to drink. I can walk you to the water, but it's your job to drink that shit at the end of the day. I can lead you in the right direction, but it's up to you to take the first steps. I'm going to say that again like the preacher man. I can lead you in the right direction, but it's your job to take the first steps, right? Everything starts in the mind. Self-love starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Take some accountability. Stop complaining about white supremacy. Yes, white supremacy does exist, and at some point we need to address it. But it all goes back to what I said. When it comes to black people, most of your problems stem from the bad decisions that you made. When you see these women who are single mothers and they're 40, 38, 37, pushing 40 with no husband, and they're struggling for money, she's only in that position because of the bad decisions she made. When you see youngsters that went to prison that's dealing with all this, man, he's dealing with those issues because of the bad decisions that he made. So the reality is this, my people. I'm speaking to FBA right now, but anybody can learn the lesson just from listening to this. But I'm speaking to my people, foundational Black Americans right now. I need to get y'all ears. Close your mouth and open your ears. Most of the problems in your personal life stems from the bad decisions that you made. It's not because of tethers. It's not because of white supremacy. You're in a bad situation right now based on the horrible decisions that you made over the last 10 years. And I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you the hard-hitting facts. Tethers ain't causing the problems that you have the tethers ain't causing the issues that you got in your life right now. White supremacists are not even causing most of the issues that you got in your life right now. It stems from the bad decisions that you made over the last 10 to 15 years. Now you're dealing with the consequences of your mother effing actions. Now you are dealing with the consequences of your mother effing actions. And the unfortunate reality is this. Most people don't want to hear me tell the truth. They want to be pandered to. They don't want me to tell them the truth. They don't want to hear me say, hey, man, look in the mirror. These are things that you can actually change. You got 3 baby daddies. You a promiscuous woman. None of those men that impregnated you wiped you up. How did that happen? You made a bad decision. You made bad decisions. You was promiscuous. You were searching for love in all the wrong places. Now you're 36, 37 years old, pushing 40 with no husband, and you got babies and you're struggling for money. How did you end up in that predicament? How did you end up in that bad situation? It stems from the bad decisions that you made. You misused your body. You misuse your body in a major way. That's how you got multiple baby daddies and you're damn near 40 with no husband and you're broke and struggling for money. You was promiscuous and you made bad decisions. That's how you ended up with 3 damn baby daddies. You can't blame it on white supremacy. Please follow me. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to heal you. But like I said, I can lead you in the right direction, but it's your job to take the first damn steps. I can lead you to the damn water, but it's your job to drink that stuff. Shout out to Alice Angel, man. Hey, man, this is some of the realest game that you're going to get. Motivation, medication for mind elevation. What's the medication? Gain, knowledge and information. That's a fact, young homies. Shout out to the older people. I got one more clip to play, man, and then I got another show coming up after this. Rest in peace to TONEA Miller, man. Rest in peace to the young sister. We really want to know what happened to her. You know.
The death of TONEA Nicole Miller has generated significant with family members, community advocates, and civil rights organizations continuing to call for transparency regarding the circumstances surrounding her death. The case has prompted widespread discussion on social media and prompted the NAACP to hold a press conference calling for additional answers.
The death of a Michigan woman in South Florida has gained a lot of attention online. Now, a family member is pleading for answers after deputies say that they found her sister dead near Gwen Cherry Park in Miami-Dade County last week. Detectives say that their investigation found no evidence of foul play and say that it appears that she died by suicide. A woman's sister, however, strongly disputes that.
If anybody knew that my sister TONEA Nicole, that's the last thing she would do. That's the last thing she's thinking about. She loved life too much.
Deputies say TONEA's body was found last Thursday morning. Investigators say her belongings were with her and they found no signs of violence. Over the past week, Miller's death has drawn growing attention on social media. Today, the NAACP and community leaders call for transparency in the investigation. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office attended today's news conference to say that the case is closed, though they say that they will review any credible new information brought forward.
Based on the totality of the evidence gathered, during this investigation, detectives found no evidence that Ms. Miller's death was the result of foul play. We understand that this does not lessen the grief of those that loved Ms. Miller, nor does it erase the difficult questions that often follow a tragic loss.
During my own review and research of this assault and no sperm was inside of her body. Again, I have not independently verified these claims. The source also alleged that TONEA had 2 phone numbers, but believes her cell phone had not been recovered. They expressed concern about alleged online harassment directed towards TONEA's family and said they believe every available investigative lead should be thoroughly examined. Anyone with information that could assist investigators in any way should contact the Miami-Dade Police Department. And if there are any unanswered questions, they deserve a thorough, transparent investigation. If you stay to the end of the video, please like.
All right. Now, I got one more. This is Taylor House Publishing. Shout out to that brother, man.
This young lady on the screen is TONEA Nicole Miller from Michigan, and I'm wondering how many of my people have heard her story. She came down here. She's from Michigan. She came down to the 305 to Gwen Cherry Park, Memorial Park, to celebrate Juneteenth. Now, her body was found hanging from a tree on the 18th, and I'm wondering how many of my people have heard her story, because her people is saying that no news media is covering this and nobody is reporting on this. I've only seen like 2 or 3 creators talk about this topic, and I'm wondering why is nobody spreading a word, and why is her story not being heard? If you have heard about this, let me know in the comments. If you have not heard about this story, also let me know in the comments. Rest in peace to this baby, forever 27. I have no words, y'all.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises due to the Most High. And again, I will share her picture. 27-year-old TONEA Nicole Miller, who was found allegedly from the little bit of information that I can gather about it on June 18th, across the street from Gwen Cherry Park. And that is in the Miami-Dade County area. Now, as you heard the lady say, reports say that she is from Michigan and she came down to celebrate Juneteenth with, I guess some friends or family. I'm not sure how she got there, but nevertheless, it has been reported that she was found hanged in across the street from a park. I have not been able to find any credible news or articles about it.
Right. And they're not going to talk about it because what you see is a pattern. You know how many black people in the South that got hung this year? There's several black people who got hung this year and last year. So you're not going to find mainstream media outlets that are even talking about this. You're not going to find them. They're trying to sweep it underneath the rug because they don't care. And they're hoping that we don't care about it.
The only thing I have found is from Facebook posts. Facebook posts and YouTube, a few YouTube sources, but nobody is talking about this. I guess everybody was caught up in the celebration of the Juneteenth festival. Now, they're saying that she was found on June 18th. And if I'm not mistaken, June 19th, which is Juneteenth, was a Friday. And so I don't think the celebrations in most towns, they didn't happen till that Friday or Saturday. So she was found before the celebrations even occurred. Now, of course, we know a lot of people do not like the fact that we celebrate June 15th or Juneteenth. And, I really don't like the concept either, but we'll get into that to another video. But this may, once again, be one of those dog whistles that they talk about, or one of those symbolic sacrifices to combat the energy that melanin people have of unity and bringing each other together and honoring our heritage, who we were, the struggles that we have survived, the trials that we have overcome, and the victories that we have obtained since that time. And so a lot of people, when these things happen, they try to secretly bring that demonic energy out by doing things like that in secret. Like you won't hear no news stories talk about it. I think the police have came out and their story, that it is self-unalivement. But we all know throughout history, it's been studied, psychologists, that Black people, if they did want to unalive themselves, they will not do it in this manner. And so the question is, who did it, when, where, and how did they get away with it? Now, it's not saying any particular time that she was found, but of course, these days everywhere has cameras. And I want to know, when these things are deemed as self-unalivement, I want somebody to show footage of someone of melanated hue doing that to themselves. That is the only way I will believe it, because we all know the torrid.
Now, we know anything is possible, but if you study the history of this country, this is what white people are known to do to Black people. Right now, we don't know what happened. We don't have the evidence. The same thing with the young lady that got hung in Mississippi. We don't know what happened. They're trying to sweep it underneath the rug. There's no cameras. There's no surveillance. There's no nothing. Now, one thing we do know is if this would have happened to a young white girl, they would have found who hung her immediately. Let's say, excuse me, let's say a young white girl got hung. They would have found the perpetrators immediately, because you know what they would have did? They would have went door to door, looking at everybody's Ring cameras to see who was walking around that community around a certain time. Matter of fact, they would get videos and surveillance. They'll use everybody's cameras, the cameras that's on the front of their house. They would use everybody's cameras to see who was looking suspicious on that block for the whole day. Matter of fact, they'll go back weeks. Like, okay, we want to see what happened last week. We need to see you guys' cameras to see if there was any suspicious behavior going on prior to us finding this young lady's body. If it was a white girl, they would have, listen, I'm just gonna be real. If these victims were white girls, they would have a gang of surveillance, and they would say, okay, well, this is the person we seen walking around on this particular street prior to the murder, right before we found this young lady's body. They would do a thorough investigation. There will be a thorough investigation if white women were found hung in trees. Since it's a black woman, they don't care. They just, let's sweep it underneath the rug. There's no signs of foul play. There's no suspects. There's no evidence of foul play, and we don't have any suspects at this time. That's exactly what they say when the victim is a black person. But if it was a white girl, they would do a thorough investigation. They would be asking questions, looking for witnesses, asking everybody, can we see your cameras? Did you see any suspicious activity, or did you see any suspicious people in this neighborhood within the last 2 to 3 days? There would be a thorough investigation if these victims were white girls. That's all I'm saying.
And horrific patterns and trends that were prevalent in this country throughout the years and even to this day. So it is hard. It is far-fetched. It is hard for me to believe that in this day and age and this time, someone with melanated skin would do that to themselves. So until I see cold, hard proof about it, then I'll never believe it. And so we'll see if the news picks this story up. Once again, it's been 5 days and nothing, crickets, quiet as a church mouse in a bell tower on Sunday morning service when the preacher is reading the scripture. It's nothing. And so rest in peace once again to the young sister. They have some flyers out, but once again, the family has also not came out. And I don't know if she does have family or if she was estranged from her family, but there seems that it would be some sort of family members coming out to explain, okay, how this happened, or we don't believe it happened like this, or, we possibly believe it happened like that. So, but there's nothing. So this is a story that hopes, this is a video that hopes get some awareness out and get people talking about this, because we all know that, once again, black people.
Well, you heard me talking about prevention in the beginning of this podcast. I said, forget damage control, prevention. We need our own crews to look out for our people. When these children play at the playground, we need to have people watching, keeping a close watch on the children, keeping a close watch on the children when they play in the community. We need some structure and some damn organization. It's all about prevention, not damage control. I'm sick of it, man. Why you think I spend so much time talking about the things that we can actually fix in our community? Instead of talking about tethers all day, let's focus on the things that we can actually change in our community. We have the power to make change. Will we do it is the question. We got the power to do it, but will we do it is the real question. Will we set up an organization to protect the women and children, or black people in general in our communities, when they're walking to school, when they're getting off work, when they're getting off these subways and these buses, and they're trying to make it back home to their families and children? Will we provide a service to protect the people in our own communities? If nobody gives a damn about us, then no one else will. Listen, if we don't give a damn about us, why should white people? Why should anybody give a damn about us if we don't? Everything starts with us. Self-love starts with the man in the mirror. Self-love starts with the woman in the mirror. If we don't give a damn about each other, why should white people? Seriously.
Do this to themselves. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number if you have any information about it. You see the number 919-587-7782. I do thank everyone for liking, watching, sharing, and subscribing to this channel, hyping the videos and all of that. But as all right, that's Taylor House Publisher, man. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. If you play upon the King Supreme, make sure that you like this stream in a major way. Peace, love, and blessings, giving you gain to keep you from stressing in a major way. You already know what it is. You know what it ain't. King Supreme gonna put paint where it ain't. I'm gonna put paint where it ain't and say what most can't. That's the reality. Giving you medication for mind elevation. What is the medication? Gain, knowledge, information. That's the medication right there. Knowledge, wisdom, and information is the medication for mind elevation, helping you to operate on a higher frequency, helping you to operate on a higher level when it comes to life. Now, please understand that. Anyway, man, hit the like button. It ain't nothing. It's your Play Upon the King Supreme. I am signing off. I'm gone. I'll be back with another podcast in another 15 minutes, y'all.